to put people that want to pay. I think X-Core's price is $90,000 per flight for a suborbital flight, which is about 10 minutes in space. Virgin Galactic, I believe, is with the scale composite guys, are somewhere close to $200,000 per flight.
Teachers go and stuff like this?
Yeah. Right now we have 15 flights that are planned.
15 flights for the
7 of us.
7 of you.
Right.
To where?
Suborbital flight. It's like the early stages of the Mercury program.
Okay, so with this Virgin stuff and that,
Right.
you might be wondering.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I just don't have a date yet. I know I'm going. It's just a matter of when the date is. I don't know if it's going to be next summer or the summer after that.
You
Yeah.
won't be flying.
Oh, I'll be a passenger, yeah, unfortunately. But I'd like, yeah. Of course, I don't know. We'll see. I've been asking everybody if I can fly. Can I fly? Every time I go somewhere, they say, "Oh, sure, you want to fly? Go ahead." But that's just, I think, because of my background. You know, that I still have my commercial license. I have all those things. But what I do tell my kids as we get to here, just leave you something here. Use the acronym DREAM. And I came up with this with a friend of mine a few years ago, because one of the things he recommended was this: I go out and talk to people, you better have something you can leave them with. And what we talk about is DREAM. The D is for dedication. You got to be dedicated to what you're going to do. I don't care what in life you decide to do, but you become dedicated to actually doing what's right, getting your education, doing all those things. But stay dedicated to it, because like I tell the kids, my goal was to be an astronaut, and I thought I would be one in my 30s. Now I'm in my 50s, and I am one. So you don't give up on the goal. R is be a risk taker. And I think kids need to be risk takers. One of the things I tell my kids all the time is that if you don't take risks, if you don't take that tougher calculus course, if you don't take the tough physics classes, you're never going to know what your true potential is. And one of the things I like to do, and I'm showing now, is leaping out of airplanes at 14,000 feet. I'm willing to take the risk because I can see the end goal is going to be something good. E is education. I think kids need to be educated well beyond what I was. I look back now and I kind of wish I had paid more attention in calculus. I mean, to sit down day one and have him go through a full calculus class, and then as we're walking out, he goes, "Hey, did you get all that?" And I'm thinking, yeah, got it covered. And then realizing he was serious. I mean, there were some lift factors we were going to work on. A is a Greek term. It's called arete. And I got that from a good friend of mine who's the Dean of Students, head basketball coach down at Moeller High School in Cincinnati. It's called arete. And Carl preaches that to his players and to his kids all the time about it's to do your best. And you can do your best even on a bad day. He'll tell his kids, I don't expect you to play at 100% every game. But if the best you got is 80, I better be getting 100% of that 80%. So that's one of his words I like to use. M is motivation. You got to find something that's going to motivate you. For me, it's real easy. I've got a flight coming up within a year. So I'm motivated to stay in great shape, to do what I need to do and stay up on things. And I think it's changed my life quite a bit. I'm a whole lot happier right now because I know what the end product's going to be. So that's what I leave with my students. So far, it's been pretty good. Now, as far as what it's like to fly that right B, this was a gas. I would do this anytime again.
I don't know whether jump master took it.
This is us going down the runway. I was amazed. At 45 miles per hour, it takes off, and it climbs very, very good. Of course, you got to wave. There's me waving to the cameraman. Quick, grab it right back real quick.
Now, they had problems with their motor. Does this have a different motor?
These two here, I believe, are helicopter motors because it's the reciprocal thing on it. Works out pretty well for them. And it's really neat.
They have it beefed up.
Right. What it is here is it's a replica of it. The neat news is what they do is you take off at one end of the runway and you land 2 miles down the other end. So it's pretty neat. But, oops, cameraman got a little excited too. Now that's the one I let people see. The one before this was the one where we kind of slid a little bit, and my friend who's videotaping it, you hear him saying, "Oh my, look at that, oh geez." And my wife saw that one and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, trying to get back to the runway." "What am I doing?" She said, "Oh boy." But you see, it was pretty neat. But this is just, like 5 minutes south of here. And if you get a chance, the simulator is really neat to do.
We'll do that.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do.
Take your risk on that, Jerry.
Yeah.
Like he says.
I guess if I was going to leave you with anything is that, you know, what we really need to do here in life now, it's what my goal is, and I know what my school district's goal is, to inspire that next generation of scientists and inspire the kids. I have more kids. I was talking with a gentleman upstairs here a little while ago, and the biggest thrill I get now is just walking through Milford and walking through, you know, Cincinnati, and kids will come up to me and say, Mr. Heck, let me tell you what I'm doing now. When I tell you, I had a kid call me the other night, in the middle of the night, got back from the University of Dayton. He was up here on an engineering college thing, and I had him 2 years ago as a student. He's up here, just took a summer camp and did engineering up here. And all he wanted to do was tell me how excited he was about engineering, in the field of engineering. And so you know, at our house now, we have kids over all the time, which is kind of interesting for my wife. My students come by, they'll drive by, they'll walk by, they come over, and they want to talk about science. And they want to talk about technology. They ask about what classes. I get emails all the time about, I don't know which class to sign up for. I'm not too sure about this math class or this one. What would you recommend? And I think that's the one thing that I'm more pleased about. I mean, it's excited about being an astronaut. It's exciting about getting a chance to fly in space. But boy, seeing the kids and how excited they are. I just saw my test scores. Close to 90% of the kids passed, which was amazing. And I was more pleased with the fact that most of them hit accelerated, which really told me that they were really excited about what they're doing. They went beyond that. So we're going to celebrate this fall a little bit with the school district and get excited about that. But is there any questions I can answer about the program? I tried to just put a brief overview together and let you see some of the things we were doing. The applications for teachers, because everybody always asks, will be out soon. The application process is still being decided upon. We are going to put 3 more in. With 15 flights, we figured we should get to that 15 number pretty soon. So we're going to add 3 this year, and probably it would give us the 10 and probably 5 more. If the funding comes through like we would like and the grants come through, then it's going to ramp up pretty quick, and the goal will be to try to get 200 teachers a year through the program. Yeah?
These flights, I mean, I didn't know Virgin is on the verge of doing their flights.
Yeah, they're pretty close. What I read yesterday in the paper was that, I don't have the video, I wish I had brought it. Last summer we actually got to see White Knight 2 fly for the first time, which is an amazing type aircraft. And the kids liked it because doesn't look like any other aircraft you've ever seen. It looks like 2 airplanes stuck together, and then Enterprise sits underneath it. And we were out there, they were just testing the White Knight 2, which was really impressive. The rate of climb was unbelievable. You know, they get to 60,000 feet very, very quickly. It's a very, very good basic platform. Their goal is to drop their Enterprise from there, and then their Enterprise would go to suborbital, and then the wings cantilever on it, and it comes back, floating back down. It's really amazing, the concept. Rutan, the guy who designed it, is amazing to sit and talk to about his designs. His brother was the one that flew the Voyager around the world. So there's a great family there.
No wonder Obama wants to
go
like this. Look at the innovations.
It's building a lot. I was really impressed with SpaceX down in Florida with the launch of their Falcon 9, and to realize what they're doing. They have the contract to supply the International Space Station now with just cargo. And then when you look at their capsule and realize, well, shoot, that's the next step. If they can take cargo there, they're going to take astronauts there. And then they would like to get into the bidding of, you know, I mean, it's a commercial program. You know, you want to pay $54 million or $25 million. I mean, how do you want to pay it? I understand why it's important to keep the Russians in the program. I understand that, but also, you know, a good American capitalist, you know, American company wants to bid in there. We ought to be able to do that. So that's coming down the road. X-Corps, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. There's no risk to NASA. I mean, it's not like NASA's going to change much. NASA's going to start looking at, you know, going to asteroids. Was it the Dawn? It's the Dawn mission is going to in fact this month. Dawn, the mission with the ion engine, is going to hit the first asteroid or get near the first asteroid. I think this August, and that's kind of neat to watch for if you get a chance. Yeah, like this month. It is supposed to get by Vesta, or I believe Vesta is the first asteroid it's supposed to get near to. Yeah, so it's supposed to be there. If that happens, that's kind of a neat thing because the ion engine is a really great thing to use. You know, that's going to be a good one to use. We're looking at that. There's that. I know that the plan going back to the moon is a big debate. You know, you've got to, being from Ohio, if Neil Armstrong says something, I agree with him 100%. I mean, that's, to me, that's my hero in life. I mean, but I do see the commercial side. I do see that in fact, we heard a term the other day. It was kind of interesting. It's the term used, like the ionosphere, things like that. Well, they're using a term like the unknown sphere. Like there's a certain area of the atmosphere that no one really knows about because we just fly through it. And that's one of the other goals of the suborbital people, is to take a look at, what's that sphere going to look like? What's that going to look like?
The thing up there is just full of hydrogen or helium.
A lot of ions, a lot of things like that too. The kids kind of like that stuff when you use different terms for it. We're going to look at that this fall too. I really probably have 3 times the curriculum I need to get through the year. So.
If it comes from the sun, there could be a lot of
Sure.
hydrogen area, helium area. There could be a lot of deuterium.
LaCrosse, the one that just hit the LaCrosse mission that NASA just had to the moon, where they did testing for the water. When I was out in California, I didn't bring those slides either. We got to actually see the LaCrosse mission control area and talk to the guys. And of course, we all swapped patches, but that was kind of exciting for my kids, because the day that hit it, we had morning class, and we just went to NASA television. And we turned it on. I said, remember that LaCrosse thing I was talking about, looking for things? They said, yeah. I said, well, you get to see it hit the moon today. My room usually seats 35 students. We had close to 100 students in that little classroom, all packed in, watching this thing hit, and then realizing what it was going to be like and why they were doing it. So for the next 2 weeks, it was like that's all we wanted to talk about in class, was how important that discovery was, that there's water on the moon. What can you get from it? Some of the kids realized right away you can get besides getting oxygen, you get water, you get hydrogen, you get fuel, you get water. All those things are available. And I think this fall we're going to talk about the Dawn mission, because that's what it's looking for on the asteroids. So you kind of can take that step.
We were at Green Bank's Star Party when the thing hit the comet. The copper
Right,
comet.
yeah.
And they were using the big telescope, their radio telescope, to check it out. And the astronomer came down and talked to our class about what was going on, what she found out exactly what was happening.
Right. It's kind of fun. It's amazing. And the kids, I find that the more you can inspire the kids with this type of stuff that they can see and they can get into, boy, I'm a firm believer in everything we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. The neat thing for the kids is I'm back. They were really nervous when they heard I got picked up in the program that I was going to be gone. And it was really tough to convince the kids that I would be back every year to teach and I would be gone for certain periods. I think I missed maybe a little bit more than a month of the school year last year. And this year I expect to probably miss about the same. But the kids are always excited. Of course, the good news is when you come back, the kids want to know, well, what'd you do? What'd you talk about? What new things did you see? What did you do? And I think they're going to be really excited to see this. They have not seen any of this recent stuff.
This has been great for Jerry. I mean, we've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And he's on the internet 2 or 3 hours a day. He highlights what, reads it back to us.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in Facebook now. In fact, I do get into Facebook quite a bit because I'm kind of interested in what the kids are putting in, and it's pretty neat. They've linked a lot of stuff that we've done. They've linked a lot of stuff that I've done. There's a lot of great comments from the kids.
Get kids involved, it's just great.
Yeah.
It's fun for the adults.
I got 8 more minutes. Okay. Yes, sir.
Do you have a commitment to your school district or a part of your agreement here which says that you have to spend so many years in the classroom and not go and retire?
Yeah, funny you should ask that. One of the things that at the end of the school year last year, Dr. Farrell called me in and said, okay, he said, how long do you expect to continue to teach? And he and I talked, I said I would like to at least teach 5 more years. And of course he smiled and said, that's good. And the other thing we talked about is where I should be. I was teaching at the junior high, and I only saw, I think, 135 kids total. We're looking at, this fall, I'm going to move to one of the elementaries.